you doing today? I hope you are doing splendid. I am doing very good. Thank you for asking. If you are new, then welcome, and if you are not, then welcome back. Today we are just having a nice relax video. I am in my bed with my guinea pig Halloween bed sheets, which I got the other day. I kind of just wanted to film here to show them off, but honestly, I've kind of just fallen in love with these bed sheets. They're so cute. But today, I am going to read you a bedtime story. Is that okay? Okay, good. Now, I have the story on my iPad, so I am going to read it for you, and hopefully it will give you some tingle. And if not, it will just put you to sleep. So, I hope you enjoy it. This story is called Leo the Cat and the Thief. I hope you enjoy it. There must be somewhere up here I can make myself comfortable, Leo thought, sniffing every corner of the attic. The place wasn't particularly tidy. The attic was considered the junk room of the house. It was where anything that was no longer needed could be found. Old dresses, lampshades, worn-out suitcases, and abandoned travel souvenirs from faraway countries lay scattered on the floor. Time-worn pictures leaned against the walls, wrapped in cloth where there had no longer been a suitable place for them to be displayed in the apartment. All this surrounded the cat as he searched for a satisfactory place to settle. Why does my family keep all this junk? He thought, wrinkling his nose at all the dust. It smells awfully musty in here, plus it's gloomy with only these little skylights, and all these cobwebs everywhere are not very inviting. Well, meow. What I won't do to find some peace and quiet. At the moment, one was actually better off in the attic than anywhere else in the house. A burst water pipe in the bathroom had thrown the main living area into chaos. The whole living room was underwater and all the carpets were soaked. It had probably happened when Leo was sleeping on a warm windowsill because he hadn't even noticed. He had woken up hungry, and it was only when he jumped down on the floor that he realized what a mess the room was. Wet paws are not for cats, he had thought. He had looked around for a dry patch, but the water was everywhere. Where did it all come from, he had wondered. In one leap, he had to jump back onto the windowsill and wait. A short while later, his family had come in the room with buckets, friends, and even neighbours. They all had rubber boots on, in the middle of the living room. Leo had been unceremoniously lifted from the windowsill and sat down in the hallway on the ladder up to the attic. It's going to be a few days until we can get this all dry and back to the way it was, they had told him. They had shaken their heads at the mess before starting to skim the water off and mop it up. That's why Leo was now in the attic trying to find a peaceful place to rest. After a thorough examination of the space, he found it quite exciting to look out at the open skylight. Wow, it's pretty up here. I wonder what it would be like to walk on the roof, he thought. Leo had never tried such a daring thing before. Meow. I'll just go out the chimney to see how the view is from there, the cat thought to himself as he jumped onto the roof. Leo felt strong and brave. He strutted from one end of the roof to the other and discovered a big bird's nest in the gutter. He watched excitedly as the birds flew into the nest with a worm or a fly in their beaks and flew away again. When he lost interest in the birds, he leaned against the chimney and enjoyed the warm rays of sun and the warm wind on his nose. Unfortunately, his newfound peace did not last long. Suddenly, down in the courtyard, the sirens of several police cars were wailing. Leo was startled and sat rooted to the spot. Before he could look down to see what they were after, he saw a man approaching. He had a large, heavy bag on his back, and he had just climbed onto the roof. He was now on his way towards the chimney where Leo was hiding. Leo didn't make a sound. He would have liked to escape, but he didn't dare look out from behind the chimney. Somehow he knew this man was trouble. What's that guy doing on the roof? He doesn't look very friendly. Luckily he hasn't spotted me yet, thought Leo, as he circled the chimney again and again, so as to not be discovered. He kept the stranger in his sight. From below, an announcement sounded from the police loudspeaker. Please close all doors and windows. There is a thief on the run in the area. The cat's fur bristled. What was he supposed to do now? Are thieves dangerous to cats too? He briefly wondered. But there wasn't time for that now. He had to act. As the man was about to take his heavy sack from his shoulders and throw it down the chimney, Leo mustered all his courage. He arched his back, jumped out from behind the chimney, and hissed at the thief like a lion. Then he jumped through the skylight back to his family's attic and pulled the window shut behind him. The thief was so startled that he lost his balance and began to slide off the roof. He just managed to grab hold of the gutter. His heavy bag tumbled down and landed with a thud in the yard. The police looked up and discovered the thief. Now all they had to do was pull him down and take him to the police station. Leo had really not expected such excitement. No one is going to believe all this. Meow, he thought to himself. My family is so busy, I'm sure they didn't even notice. A short time later, Leo's family came up to the attic, still in rubber boots and visibly exhausted. They had brought him something to eat. They opened the skylight, stuck their heads out the window, and peered at the chimney. Oh, Leo, how good that you aren't frightened by all this action. Just think, a thief tried to escape across our roof. The police asked us if we had a cat because the police kept repeating, if that cat hadn't have been there, you never would have caught me. If only you knew, Leo grinned, letting himself be scratched briefly before getting to work on his food. He had truly earned this meal. I think that's a really cute one. I liked that a lot. The next one I'm going to read is called Oh No, the Leaves Are Gone. A little squirrel named Ferdinand was born on a sunny day in May. The strong rays of the sun warmed his skin as he snoozed comfortably. He spent 4 months living in his cozy nest with his siblings, surrounded by dense and lush leaves that provided shelter and shade. Throughout the summer, Ferdinand and his siblings explored the many surrounding treetops and watched as the adult squirrels busied themselves burying acorns and nuts in the flower beds and lawn below. Ferdinand was very curious about the upcoming winter. As he nibbled happily on a shriveled apple, he thought about the stories he had been told about cold weather and white flakes that fell from the sky. siblings. He enjoyed racing from one branch to the next the most. He barely noticed that the colours of the leaves were changing each day as the sun got lower in the sky, even though they glowed in vibrant shades of yellow and red all around him. The weather was getting colder too, and the strong wind blew at night. Ferdinand did not mind. His nest was comfortably padded and his fur kept him warm. He did have trouble adjusting to the nest rocking in the wind. The branch it was sat on bobbed up and down with every gust. Sometimes Ferdinand was a little worried that it might fall down. He woke up one beautiful autumn morning and, as usual, made a nimble leap onto the large branch that led to the wide gutter. From here he had a good view of the entire street below. Hold on, something was different. Oh no, the leaves are gone, thought Ferdinand. He jumped up and down nervously as he noticed that his nest was no longer surrounded by the gold and yellow leaves that had been there just days before. What on earth is going on? Wondered Ferdinand. I'd have to put the leaves back where they belong. He sat about picking up the many leaves from the ground. With a string, he laboriously reattached each one to the branches of the tree. This kept Ferdinand busy for many hours. He carried each leaf up the tree trunk, one by one, and tied it carefully. Hey, Ferdy, someone called from below. What are you doing? The little squirrel poked his head through the leaves he had just tied and spotted Marlin the raccoon. Exactly what it looks like. I'm saving the tree. It lost all its leaves during the night, so I'm hanging them back up, explained Ferdinand. Marlin looked up in amazement. Well, I've never seen that before. Shaking his head, the old raccoon went back to his ramble and disappeared. Ferdinand heard someone else calling up to him. What are you doing up there? He climbed down the tree trunk to get a better look and recognized a little weasel. What else would I be doing? Asked Ferdinand. Can you help me hang all these leaves back up? The weasel said, Not today, no time. Then he hurried away. Exhausted, the little squirrel sat down under the tree and looked up. There's still so many leaves missing, I'll never be able to replace them all by myself. Suddenly he heard a loud rustling. Lily and Caspar, two hedgehogs, were climbing through the piles of leaves. Hello, you two. Could you help me with these leaves? Asked Ferdinand. The two hedgehogs nodded. Sure, we know a lot about leaves. What can we do to help you? Asked Lily. I was wondering if you could help me tie the leaves back on the tree. They all fell off overnight. I think the tree is sick, said Ferdinand. The two hedgehogs looked at each other in wonder. Haven't you ever seen leaves fall from trees before? Asked Caspar. We were just looking for a suitable pile of them to hibernate in, Lily explained. Hibernate in a pile of leaves? Asked Ferdinand. So you live in these mountains of leaves throughout the winter? Exactly. We look for a pile that is sheltered from the wind as possible, so that the leaves don't fly away, said Caspar. Wait, then it's normal for leaves to fall off the tree? Asked Ferdinand. Yes, every year in autumn the leaves fall off the trees. This helps the trees save energy so they can survive the winter. It's great for us too, because the fallen leaves are perfect cozy shelters, said Lily happily. Here I was trying to put all the leaves back on, said Ferdinand, laughing out loud. The two hedgehogs laughed too. They looked up towards the tree top, where Ferdinand had tied the leaves to the tree, and admired what he had turned into a true work of art. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed those 2 stories. I will leave the link to the website I read them on in the description in case you want to read some short stories yourself. I hope you have a good sleep. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. I know this is a little bit different to do what all the rest of my videos have been recently, but I just felt like doing a cozy video in my bed in my room rather than trying to go out and find somewhere to film. I hope you enjoyed this just as much as my other videos. If you have any other ideas of videos you would like to see from me, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, or message me on my Instagram, which is linked down in the description. So I will bid you good night, sweet dreams. I love you, and I will see